You mentioned at the beginning of the year that sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way, but it all tends to even out in the end. Is there anything a little bit bizarre that tends to be evening out?
Thank Jimmy Gabriel for that. He's the one that gave me that bit of information. It always evens out at the end of the year. And look, you make your own luck as well. I mean, let's be honest. We let a center back dribble down the middle of the field and Steph had to come up with a massive save. Is that luck? Should he have scored? Do we make our own luck as Steph working hard and training every day that bounce goes our way? I would say that group in there is starting to make their own luck. Yes, we've been unlucky at the beginning of the year. I'm not gonna deny that, but yes, I do think that, at the overall, full season, it does even out. Now, Harry Shipp is a guy who's making his own luck because he's come on and done great. So credit to him. Kim Ki-hee against Portland, you can say that was lucky, sure, but he put the ball in a dangerous spot. Harry was trying to put the ball in a dangerous spot. When you put pressure on opponents, good things happen.
Miles, do you have one?
Yeah, I was just going to say in terms of making your own luck on that, what you're getting from the wide players, just Brad Smith, like the cross, and also Kevin Leadham on the other side, and their play on the flanks.
It's been a hallmark of our team. We've always pinched our wide guys, our wide midfielders in, and had the outside backs, create a lot of attacking threats for us. So that's kind of just who we are and what we do. So, the first goal, it's a great assist. Kelvin had a good strong performance. He still had a dinged up ankle, but he gutted through that. So I was very pleased with the outside backs movements. And it's all about timing. I think Harry and Christian, their timing, especially, we made a couple adjustments on halftime on when they were going to push inside, and I think that really benefited Kelvin in the second half.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, you talk about making your own luck. At the same time, you had a play in the second minute go the opposite way, where it was kind of a bad bounce, ends up on the foot of a KC player. What are you thinking at that point?
That wasn't unlucky. We weren't ready for what they brought. They lined up on the kickoff with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to come and press us. And we needed to say, okay, here they come. Peter Vermes is a great coach, and he gets his teams fired up. We should have realized that. That first 2 minutes, we were under it. They put us under pressure. That's all on me. That's all on me. I need to make sure that the team was ready for a playoff-type game. And so we, coaching staff, we talked about it. That's on us. And that won't happen again.
Mark?
Brian, it's the third time this season you come back from conceding first, getting a win out of it, that 3 or 4 more, you come back to salvage a tie. Numbers will show that's not easy to do in this league. Let's talk about that a little bit, the resilience in this group.
Again, testament to the resilience of the group. I think our road record is pretty good this year. I have gone on record many occasions that MLS is a league filled with parity. So we understand how challenging it is. But again, those guys in there, they never give up. I think the response after our 2-minute patch of, not thinking about things was great. I think after that 2 minutes of scored, it was like, okay, shoot, we're in a big game here. And their response was the well-taken goal by Raul and the team coming together and saying, it's not going to happen again. So, again, all credit to them.
Steven?
15 minutes before the break, it looked like SKC was still carrying the game a little bit. Come out and scored 2 goals right after the break. And you mentioned the wingers pinching in a little bit, but what all contributed to you guys coming out looking so much sharper in the first 15 minutes of the second half?
Well, in the first, overall, according to the stats, and I believe the stats, it was 60% possession for them. They are a very good possession team, especially in that middle block, in the midfield. You can't really close them down because Ili Sanchez is very good and they keep the ball. And so that was the problem in the first half. We tried to solve that a little bit in the second half by being a little bit more aggressive and stepping our pressure higher up the field with everybody. Because I thought we were a little stretched at times. I think Nico would press, Raul would press, and the rest of the team wasn't quite with them. And I think that turned the table a little bit. I think then we got on the front foot And it was through our pressing defense, the openings that Kelvin was getting, our transition moments, you know, because they've taken a few transition goals. I think all of that played a factor.
Nico?
What's the message to the team after a win like this one? Obviously, 8 in a row, beating the second best team in the conference.
Number one, congratulations. Takes an entire group to make this accomplishment. They need to enjoy this moment because this is pretty special. In a league filled with parity, I mean, this is a pretty big accomplishment. It's going to get harder and harder and harder as more teams come into the league to do this. So I'm very proud of the group in there. Enjoy the moment, and then some guys have to go back to work. I mean, some guys have to get on a plane tomorrow and play for their countries. We're very proud of that fact that we have 5 guys getting called in. And that's a big deal for us. So those guys have to go to work. The other guys get a few days off. We told those guys that are taking the day off not to sleep for 4 days straight, that they need to be, you know, get up and get some exercise, do something, because we want to continue this momentum. We don't want to be complacent. Because again, I'll tell you guys again, it's not over yet. Okay? It's not over yet. We must be able to close out this season in the best way possible. We understand that it's pro sports. I don't expect us to go all the way undefeated, but that certainly is our goal. Every game means something. We need to collect points in every single game, home and away. And that's what we discussed.
Ari?
Yeah, looking ahead to this bye week, when you're on a hot streak like this, would you rather have another game right away to keep it going, or do you think this will be good to recharge the battery?
You know, Ari, in years past, we've used these international breaks, September, October, to kind of reset for the playoffs. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's good that some guys get a rest because guys have been putting it in. So there is that kind of, you know, kind of a break where you get a recharge mentally and physically. Now, again, I mentioned we have 5 guys going, and that doesn't work for them, but the rest of the group. So kind of a mixed bag for me. I don't mind a little bit of break. But again, half our team doesn't get a break. So.
Matt?
Seems like Ozzy's been more impactful with every week recently. How much has his sort of resurgence here impacted your guys' recent run?
Well, that puts a smile on my face because he, you know, hasn't been forgotten, but certainly he has played at an extremely high level. I mean, again, we say vintage Ozzy. You know, I would say Ozzy has been good, you know, throughout his career when he's been on the field. And I see Ozzy every day in training. He's motivated. He wants to win. That's the Ozzy I've known ever since 2009. So we are happy that he's playing, happy he's playing at a high level, and he is absolutely a big part of the reason why. Now, taking that one step further, you got a guy right next to him in Gustav who's done extremely well. You know, Christian, Nico, Harry, Chad, Kim, Roman coming on in a situation. You go to Steph, you go to Raul. The whole team is playing at a very, very high level. I'm actually really pleased about the performance today, because that was not an easy game. So overall, again, credit to Ozzy, and on down the list, I thought that was a good team performance.
And given how he has sort of had trouble down the stretch staying healthy in some of these last couple of years, how cognizant are you of his workload and making sure that he stays healthy?
He's been great. I think there was a little snafu somewhere that they hugged it out.
Yeah.
You know, they hugged it out. It's okay. But when Ozzy's been healthy, he's been great. He led us to a championship in 2016. Let's just leave it at that.
Felipe?
So, Coach, it was a very competitive game until the Chad Marshall red card. What do you think about the red card, Chad Marshall?
Well, look, we obviously there wasn't a good I haven't seen the best replay yet. Now, Baldomero, they have a tough job, right? So until I see that actual angle that he saw, I don't want to comment on it because, you know, I'm not going to. But I know from what I did see and from what I know about our club that we will certainly defend our guy. And we're going to start the process to make sure that that gets rescinded, because from the angle that I did see, I did not see what Baldomero saw. So I think we will take a very, very, very close look at it to see if it can be rescinded.
Mark?
Kind of on the back of that, it seems like whenever you play Kansas City, it's a bit chippy out there. Obviously, these teams have some history between each other. How do you prepare the players for something like that, especially when they have a reputation of playing a certain way? And kind of how do you keep the group calm when things might?
Well, I actually like when the team gets fired up. I actually didn't mind some of the altercations that we had within reason. We don't want to be labeled as a dirty team. We don't want to go kick people. We actually enjoy the sport of soccer and playing it in a high tempo, high fashion. There is physical contact. We understand that. But I felt today was just a playoff match. I didn't think that it was, okay, Sporting KC's reputation against the Sounders. I didn't look at it that way. I think over the years, yeah, certain teams get reputations, but I didn't feel today's game was you know, they came out and kicked us all over the park. I thought there were some niggly little things here and there, but at the end of the day, our guys kept their composure. So we always want to try and address that. We always want to say, yeah, you need to be ready for the fight, but you need to always be smart. You can't do anything that might hurt your team by getting a stupid red card or yellow card or, you know, a foul on top of the 18 when you should have a calmer head.
John, and then we'll go for one or two follow-ups.
Coach, after the second minute goal you guys gave up, was there any message given to the players by either you as the coaching staff or
Yeah, we can't really do it from the sideline. We're trying to yell from the sideline, but I looked at the players' body language after they scored, and it was, you know, Ozzy, Nico, you know, Kim, everybody saying, okay, let's go, let's go. Those guys do it on their own. A lot of that stuff just, again, is their internal drive to be successful. That's what makes this group easy to coach.
Okay. A few follow-ups. Harvey, I think you had one.
Coach, obviously today was a work day for you and the team, but the club also took the opportunity to celebrate Clint Dempsey's career beforehand. Just for the community that exists around this club and its fans, what's it worth to that community to have the opportunity to have those celebrations?
It was a great moment. We were all watching it. The coaching staff, we were all watching it in the locker room as it happened. And the video tribute that our club did, the guys worked really hard to send Clint off in the right fashion. We are extremely proud of the accomplishments that this club has had when Clint has been involved. He is, in my opinion, the best goal scorer that this country's ever produced, and we needed to send him off in the right fashion. Our club, there's a mantra in the club started by our top guy that how players come into the club and how they leave the club is equally as important. So that tribute today for Clint was well-deserved, and those guys, the club did a great job.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, Roman Torres has not necessarily been a huge part of this winning streak as a starter, but he has come off the bench a ton. And I'm just kind of curious, when you have a World Cup player like that you're able to bring off the bench and that you're able to potentially slot in for someone like Marshall if he can't play this next game, and what does that do for, you know, your piece?
It's the benefit of having quality players. You know, all 28, 27 players in the group all have a role to play. What is Roman's final role? What is his final place in this group? We're still working on that. But it's absolutely great for me to have a guy like that to step on in Minnesota, to step on here. When I wanted to close the game out in Portland, that's a luxury. You know, the front office has done a good job of putting together a strong roster. And again, the coaching staff is the beneficiary. But that comes with also a little bit of aches and pains sometimes when those guys aren't able to play. So I'm happy. I'm happy Roman's part of the squad. He's a big part of the squad. And I'm happy to be able to use him.